Welcome everyone to yet another Wednesday Night Live. And on tonight's show, we're going to debunk some of the shady studies out there used by the ain'ts of vaping, from popcorn lungs to erectile dysfunction. I'm just going to throw this out there. My stuff still works. I don't know about the rest of this panel, but my stuff is still good. You guys, everything okay in that department?
Still got some junk in the trunk. Is that what you're trying to say?
You still have some junk in the trunk, Paul?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a problem.
He just says it's just,
ask the koalas. They know.
Yeah, I know. They've got two. They've got two penises.
They're lucky bastards. And Tom, your junk's still working, Tom?
It is still functional, yes, sir.
Even at 18 degrees?
Even at 18 degrees. It's a little smaller because shrinkage is a real issue, but it works. And I only have one, unlike koalas.
Yeah. We're only God didn't give us two. Thank God, I guess I should say. But we're going to discuss some of these. It goes as far back. I want to say that I think the first one, the godfather of the studies, it would have to be popcorn lung. I think that's the first one. Is that the first one? It's got to be the godfather of.
Probably one of the earlier ones that was sort of dropped on us as being the thing that we're all going to perish from.
Yeah. I think I tried to remember back to 2016, and I think that was the first one that really kind of got the ball rolling, I guess. I mean, with them using silly studies to attack the industry and the community.
Yeah.
It was It was 2016, right in line with deeming regulations 8A. They all started hammering us with rubbish, absolute rubbish.
I'm going to start using that word more, rubbish. I like it better.
I prefer trash.
Trash.
What rubbish? Wasn't that from Monty Python's The Holy Grail? We're in search of the rubbish.
Yeah, I prefer Pirelli,
Do I have to go get my cannon hat? No, I'm just kidding.
It'd be better than that one you're wearing right now.
Here we go.
Let's say hello to everybody out there. Who's out there, Tim?
You got Luke in his house. You got Morgan. You got Mallory. You got Jeff Danny Boy. I like that screen name. Nice username. What else? Who else? That's it. We got three people tonight. What's up? There's four more of you watching the damn show. Speak up. Good God.
Corey's out there.
Noble Manuel.
No, Daniel?
Or Manuel. Is it? No, it's
Daniel's
Noble Manuel.
He's probably
Manuel's
in his
very
car.
noble.
He's driving. He's probably driving in his car getting here. Let's see. Let's get started. Let's start with our hellos. Let's start with Australia. Let's go to Australia with Paul. Paul, how's your week going, buddy?
So far, so good. Played with the dentist yesterday for a little while, and then, what a joke. Yeah, not
cavity
fun, but...
crown, gingivitis.
No, they're organising to remove my whole bottom section of teeth. Yep, and then
I don't like the dentist.
I hate the fang doctor. We don't call it the dentist. We call it the fang doctor.
Oh, what do you call it?
The fang doctor. FANG.
Okay.
Fang doctor.
Oh, the fang. You all in your silly accents. I thought he said fang.
Yeah, I thought he said that too.
No, fang.
Is it really called the fang doctor? It's not. It's got to be called the dentist. Come on, Paul.
Hey,
no,
Kim.
it's the fucking fang doctor. All right, get it right.
Is that how it's listed in the phone book? I don't know if you guys have phone books still there in Australia, but is it listed as the fang doctor or the dentist?
No. Well, that too, but I call it the fang doctor. Leave me alone.
It's a very unique name, Noble. I like that name. It's very cool.
Yeah, Noble. And let's go to Tom. Tom, how's it going? I know it's cold there. It's not as cold as here in Modesto, but it's cold.
No, Luke.
It's been a week. That's all I'm going to say right now.
That's it. That's it.
That I'll talk about later.
Yeah, you got your segment tonight. I
It
forgot
kind
to
of
listen.
cheesed me off. So
Yeah, I got the cheese me off. Tom is back with the cheese me off segment. He's been
Yeah.
holding back for several weeks, and he's going to let loose tonight on
I
a
have
few
10
things.
things on that list.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
looking at Luke, 2 degrees.
Ugh.
Oh, screw that shit. I'm out.
Wait,
I'm
Luke,
good, Luke.
is that Canadian?
No, he's in. Hold on, Indiana, I think.
So, bang slang.
No,
It's real.
no.
Stop making up words, Paul.
Paul, what is the coldest it gets there? I'm kind of curious. I never really looked into that. Maybe just your area. What's the coldest it gets there?
What, in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit.
For us Americans, layman's
Yeah,
term.
for us Americans. For us Americans. Do the math, buddy.
Around 40.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
I would.
That's tolerable. What, even in the middle of the friggin' nowhere land? What about like at night in the desert in Australia? Does it get colder?
Yeah, it does, but not that bad though. That's the thing. The surrounding areas generally keep some of the warmth, but yeah, it's not that cold. But summer here,
Has it ever snowed in Australia?
yeah, it snows in the snowy mountains. Yes, Kosciuszko, Mount Tamborine, places like that, or down south. But here in Sydney, where I live, summers 120 to 140.
Yeah, you guys get some.
Yeah, no, it gets hot. I know about that.
Yeah.
That's
And if you go
sweating
north,
hot.
and if you go north, you're looking at 140, 150 now.
Ooh, boy.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm good.
Blame Al Gore for that.
There's nothing here that wants to kill me. I don't have.
No,
earthquakes,
Tom's got enough stuff to
hurricanes.
kill other things behind him. Tom is just fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I took a lot of them down.
Okay. Right, he has less killing things, but
Yeah.
he can still
He
kill
doesn't
stuff.
need that stuff. He could kill with his hands. With
Yeah,
his
exactly.
Hands.
Yeah.
He's a third degree something. Let's go to
Something.
Tim.
Yes, sir.
Tim, how's your
Yeah.
week going, Timmy?
No, it's same as it ever was. Talking Heads, same as it ever was. Normal week, nothing special to really kind of talk about. Although, for all of you bah humbuggers out there, it is Christmas time, and I'm a single guy, and it's me and 2 dogs. Pun intended, it's me and 2 wieners. But
Put the lights up, Tim.
but at any there you go, Christmas lights. So I talked myself into actually decorating for Christmas this year and did lights on the outside of my house, and I had some fun with it. It's nothing over the top. It's not fucking Chevy Chase or anything
Show us
like
the clip. Show us the clip. You have the power.
that. You're gonna have to give me a minute to pull it up.
All right.
All right, hold on.
You're supposed to be ready on the ball with this stuff.
Well, I didn't know that I was going to talk about this stuff. I just felt like getting into the holiday spirit, and I opted to. All right, hold on.
You got the power.
Tim, while
Yes.
you're looking that up, I have a question for John.
Yeah, go ahead.
John, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. Got some things done. Still kind of trying to figure things out with my dad's passing, but everything's been good, and it's been a long week, and it's only Wednesday, but it's getting there. Slowly but surely.
I found it. You all ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, don't pick on me, man. I'm a noob at this Christmas
I
lights
liked
thing.
it. I thought it was classic.
It was
Tim.
cool.
I did.
All right,
Is this
so
the clip with the song?
it's the second video with the completion and the second song. The first song was very traditional.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
I like
well,
the second song better.
that was yeah. And then this one's a little bit more for you Rankin Bass fans who like to chill and watch all those fun animated clay animation type movies for Christmas. All right, let me share. All right, are you all ready for this?
Ready for this?
All right, just no applause, please. Just throw money.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much.
All right, there you go. I'm glad I appeased the peanut gallery out there. Everybody get in the holiday spirit, love one another,
Yeah.
Hey, even I got in
You
the
could
holiday
officially
spirit.
put the tree up
What
now,
what did
right?
what did little Timmy say? Something about God bless us, everyone. Or you can take the damn Christmas lights down.
No.
I look
you
like I
gotta-
have like a habanero pepper on my forehead. Stop.
Yeah.
I got one. I've got one up my nose.
Tim,
Mm.
when is the official date you put the lights down? That seems to be the big fighting question
Well,
among
being
the
that I'm
HOH people.
exactly being that I'm the secretary on the HOA board here in my wonderful neighborhood, I think you have roughly about 7 to 10 days after the new year.
Oh, that's not bad.
So I mean, you get a little rollover time, because we're all going to be fat and lazy and tired, and we're going to lament and look up at the lights and be like, "I got to take all that shit down now."
Yeah.
I'm really not in the mood. So yeah, they give you a little bit of time to kind of get your act together.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Paul, you've been in Australia, you've been here. Does it feel like Christmas for you guys there when it's, technically like in the 90s?
Hotter than Satan's anus?
I don't do snow real well because of all the metal in my body, but it's quite interesting. Like Christmas, and you go to the beach, you don't. That's the bizarre part about it. Like you go and barbecue in the park and stuff like that when it's Christmas here, or you go to the beach and you go for a swim. But over there, you're wearing woolies and shit like that, which again, I'm not real fond of. I'm a t-shirt and shorts type of guy.
Yeah. Do you guys do I was just thinking of all the Christmas traditions, like the ugly sweater. Can you imagine having to wear an ugly sweater in 125-degree weather? Dude?
No.
Hard pass.
Paul would just cut the sleeves off of it.
I wouldn't wear it. Bottom line. But
just because you said that,
it's different.
It's different. I mean, is it? I've never been to Australia, but is it festive? I mean, do the stores have Christmas stuff all up like we do here, and the trees and the lights and all the other stuff, and no snow? I guess it's kind of like Florida. Florida's like mid-70s. Yeah,
it's Florida with animals that could kill you.
Kill
with a snake.
Fuck all that. Bill, that's a good point.
Do they have real Christmas trees in Australia? That's my next question.
I need a shotgun for that one, Bill.
Or
got you, Tim.
Do they have Christmas trees, real Christmas trees in Australia?
Oh, they do, but they don't last real long.
Yeah. Well, in your home, it'd be fine in your home.
No, even still, no.
Yeah.
They have festive.
They dry out. Yeah.
They have festive gum trees full of.
Yeah.
And the 12 days of Christmas, they don't get turtle doves, they get kookaburras.
I think on our well, let's see. Let me look on the calendar here real quick.
I believe the 22nd is our closest show to Christmas, sir.
Yeah. So I think we should do ugly sweaters ourselves. What do you guys say?
I don't have one, and I'm not buying one. You can't make me.
Just borrow one from your neighbor, Tim.
That's gonna look real slick. I'm just gonna. They never talk to me. I'm just gonna knock on the damn door and be like, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. Nice to meet you. You wouldn't happen to have an ugly sweater, would you? An ugly Christmas sweater?
Hey,
you
Tim.
Start with the
here's an
fact
idea.
that you're the HOA, so you scare them. You start with that first. You say, "I'm the HOA, and I need an ugly sweater." Do you have one? No. Well, you better cut your lawn or I'm going to give you a fucking citation.
Tim, I have an idea for you, sir. You can buy one, wear it for the show, and then the next day, take it back.
Okay.
Yeah, Leanna understands Christmas. It's here in Australia for Christmas. It's all about real seafood, barbecues,
right?
Not so much turkey and ham and stuff like that. Oh well, hams, yeah. Like if you've got a smoker or you've got a big outdoor barbecue, yeah, not a problem. But as for the rest of it, it's completely different.
Yeah. That's why I was just kind of wondering how it is there and everything. I mean, I know it can't be that much different than anywhere else in the world. It's just the fact that it's 140 degrees. You know,
yeah.
It doesn't have that I don't know, that Christmas feel. I guess I don't know. No snow, no cold weather.
No, in the cities, it's like a dry heat. But then, well, that's true, Mallory. 100% truth. That the 12 things that'll kill you. My redback gave to me.
I love it.
The really funny part is that
it's a normal Saturday.
Oh God. Yeah. A normal Saturday. Yeah, a normal Saturday. Everything wants to kill you. But
everything.
When Leanna was here for Christmas a couple of years ago, she noticed complete difference. The weather in the city is like hot and dry, but then you have the humidity that creeps in. 60 and 70% humidity with 120.
No way.
Oh, yeah. But you're talking in Celsius now, right?
No, Fahrenheit. 120.
120, 140 Fahrenheit.
With 60% humidity, dude, you're sweating balls.
You all import air conditioning, don't you?
Oh yeah. We've got that.
Oh no, that's scary. No, I'll pass.
I thought Dubai gets friggin' hot too, though.
All right,
Dubai is a dry heat. There's no humidity in Dubai.
Yeah, there's no dry. Yeah.
Well, then I'm
a
wimp.
Plan a trip to Australia, what is the month that I want to go? The safest as far as weather. I don't want to. If I were to go there, I don't want to go to 125, 130 degree weather. What is the best time of the year to go to Australia?
Coming out of summer and autumn.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Autumn here in Australia is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I've been to Sydney 3 times.
Oh,
okay.
What time of the year were you here, though, Tim?
Kind of like, it's sort of in that later transition period. So it was fall going into winter, like right in that time frame. So I got a taste of sort of the comfortable weather, and then there were some days where it was kind of chilly.
Yeah, it is, but you don't have to wear polar vests and shit like that. Yeah, it is hot.
No.
Mallory, that's a whole different extreme pure swamp ass at 140 with 60%.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of weather.
Yeah, let's jump into it. Like I said, we're going to start off with the Godfather. I think this is the Godfather that started it all. It was Popcorn Lung. Lung came out.
So recap for everyone. We're going to talk about all the vaping myths, the things that are going to, kill you.
That are going to kill you. And the first one that I remember was in 2016, and that was Popcorn Lung. And that has so far been debunked. It's been debunked. I have links too, actually. Paul, you could talk a little bit about it, or Tim, or whoever wants to talk about it real quick while I pull up that link.
Go, Paul. Go.
Okay. Popcorn Lung originated from a chemical that was used in some of the flavorings called diacetyl. The only case of Popcorn Lung that has ever been, there was 3 cases. They all came from high exposure in an actual popcorn factory. It's used to create the buttery flavoring that everyone loves. It's in butter, creams, and it's in a hell of a lot of things that you actually eat, believe it or not, like naturally. But the way it was brought forward, and it was a study that was done in the United States, that they started overheating coils with their vaping machine that they created. So they were killing the coils, and it was creating more diacetyl than what it was worth. On top of that, when the chemistry changes, then you start walking into other effects, and that's popcorn lung and formaldehyde both work in the same bracket pretty much. Chemistry, you overheat something, it's going to create formaldehyde. Right. Diacetyl is there, but in comparison in vaping, and we pretty much ban the use of diacetyl in flavorings, or what I've been working with for the past 7 years. But it's still there in minute doses in certain flavorings. But now, with all the chemistry, the research, the vaping side of things, it will not hurt you as such. There's 10 to 20 times the amount in a cigarette than what is actually in a liquid.
Right. I remember the study. Someone did it. I don't know who it was. I tried to find that study again, but it talked about how much you would have to vape per day to end up with popcorn lung, and it was this extreme amount. It was gallons.
No, it worked out at. We did the math one day on a show, and I think. Oh, you're stoned. That doesn't matter. Don't worry, Curtis.
We're even funnier when
he can't focus. He can't focus.
Going back to what was said, yeah, Dobai is 100% correct. But what you have in a liquid, and then when we did the math on how much diacetyl you'd have to ingest to actually form popcorn lung, was about 2.8 gallons in a week for a period of X amount of weeks because of the half-life of it. And we just all laughed at it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, because when they did, I was just reading this quick study. I think this study is back from 2016 that I'm looking at. It said a U.S. study published in 2016 looked at whether e-cigarettes had liquids available in that time period. 39 of the 51 contained diacetyl, which is I thought was kind of high. I don't remember that many of them back then that had that. I know one, and that was it was the big one that they went after, Etnos, right?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they were the big culprits.
Yeah. No, they weren't. They weren't actually. No,
they weren't the higher levels.
No, it was a lot of the custard bases that actually had more diacetyl than the rest of them. It was custards, creams, a lot of the early bakery flavors that the people were using in liquid manufacturing. They've all been changed. It's very different.
Austin is
well, my question for Austin is, Austin, are you saying that you can't because you have like an allergic reaction or something to it? I mean, I'm reading it that way. My first thought was you live somewhere where they don't allow that to be there, but then I thought that sounds a little okay. Right. So you're having allergic reaction. Well, first of all, we're not doctors. We can't comment to the safety of any chemical of any kind. So we're not going to offer anyone advice as to whether it's safe or not. But if you're clearly having a medical reaction to things like that, I would think your body would react similarly, no matter how it got into your system.
Yes. Let me start with this one. This is funny. I looked it up, and this is what came up: the 5 negative effects of vaping. You ready for this one? Rapid onset of coughing, breathing difficulties, weight loss. I haven't lost a damn ounce of weight. Nausea and vomiting, and diarrhea. These are the 5 negative side effects of vaping. Anybody have any of those?
I've never had now. The only time I ever had any kind of a nauseous reaction to vaping was probably my first experience with like a 50 milligram salt nick. And I think everybody kind of has to live and learn on that one. And if you're a DTL vapor on 3 and 6 milligram e-liquid, and then you start hotboxing a friggin' pod because you're just like you're just taking a bunch of little hits. I have had a reaction like that. So that's just knowledge, though.
Yeah.
Don't chain vape a salt nick pod.
Yeah, you don't chain
chill
vape.
on that.
You don't chain vape 50 milligrams Juul pod and take 10, 15 hits every, I don't know, 2-3 minutes and expect that nothing's going to happen to you. Paul, you want to touch on any of those negative side effects of vaping?
I think Paul said them all.
So no. Salt nick and high PG will cause diarrhea sometimes with people that are vaping, constantly. Or benzoic acid will give you diarrhea as well, and also because of the nicotine level when you're not really used to it. The rest of it just comes with the ground that we're working with.
Yeah.
But weight loss, yes. 100%.
Well, I think that comes from the nicotine byproduct, right? Because your system it's increasing your heart rate, probably causing you to burn more calories just sort of naturally. Or theoretically, if you're so nicked up that you might not be hungry, you might not have that appetite. Look at it kind of like a appetite suppressor.
Yeah.
Now,
my take on the weight loss thing is actually a little different. To me, it's more of you're able to go out and do more things now without having to cough up a lung or you're wheezing, etc. So you actually want to go out and do stuff.
Yeah. You actually want to go hiking and exercise and do that other stuff. Well, I remember there was a study back then too as well, and I still haven't found that study. I don't know if it vanished, but there was a group that was using vaping flavors to help people lose weight.
That's the UK. There's still a study being undertaken at the moment. Also, there's another study being undertaken to do with vaping and diabetes, and also hardcore diabetics using vaping products without nicotine to actually control their diabetes through part of a diet program as well. I've been following that study now for the last 3 years, and I'm waiting for the paper to be released in very early 2022.
Nicotine does, it does.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. All right, let's go to the next one. People who vape are more likely to start smoking.
I think that's the biggest horseshit myth ever created. To try to turn vaping into a gateway effect. Now, this is a twisted thing, right? Because if you're someone who didn't smoke before and happened to pick up vaping on the side, just sort of like trying it out, and then ended up having an infatuation with it, and now you then become reliant on some level of nicotine in your daily life, those people, if you ban vaping, there's a possibility they may transition to smoking just to get that nicotine that they have become accustomed to, because that would be your only other source. I'm not saying that is an absolution. I'm just saying there is that possibility. And then with the kids, you kind of got the same kind of fear factor thing going on, right? Because the kids that quote unquote are vaping, I don't think most of them are using vaping for THR. I think they're using vaping because it's a fad and a trend, and it's something cool that they can do or whatever when they're chasing that buzz. But keep in mind that the kid that's vaping is on a Juul pod or something that's really high nic content, and they're putting 10 Juuls in a styrofoam cup it looks like a friggin' Sputnik on their face, and they're catching a massive buzz. So they might, but I think by and large, no, right? Because most people are using vaping to get away from smoking.
Okay,
Jordan, where are you, Jordan? Go ahead,
Can
Paul.
you bring Austin's question back up
This one?
again? Yeah. Okay. The complex sugar alcohols in vaping, they're no longer really used anymore as such. Alcohols are generally burnt off in the manufacturing process. When you mix the liquid, either you homogenize it, you run it on magnetic stirrers, you run it so the temperature in the room actually helps those alcohols to evaporate. It does work, and they've been proving these points now in the chemistry. PMI have also been looking at this, and I've been following a study that they're running as well in the background. They do help with diabetes, and these studies now are starting to show amazing results.
That's awesome. And Jordan, I'm kind of curious where you're at and how you can't get any. I mean, I know certain towns, you can't get it anymore, or I'm sure you can take a drive or have a friend buy it for you and mail it.
We might know someone.
Yeah, we might know someone that can help you. I hate to see you go back to smoking because you don't have access to it. Oh, you're where
There's your one-stop shop up there in the upper left corner.
Yeah.
The guy in the Rams hat will hook you up.
The guy, the loud abrasive guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Tom.
Hey,
I meant John.
Old guy.
The old fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. What city are you in, Jordan? Let me know. Because there's ways around it. I mean, I know the Bay Area
go
is
to John's house.
Yeah, go to John's house. I know the Bay Area is kind of trying to eliminate it completely and making it really difficult because a lot of the little smaller towns that are along San Francisco are going that route. Redwood City. Tim talked about it the other day on our last show. So yeah, and I get it. Traffic's a pain in the ass in the Bay Area. So something that takes 15 minutes to get to could take an hour, but I think I would still take the hour drive than go back to cigarette smoking. So there's ways around it. And like Mallory says, DIY. I don't know if you want to get into DIY.
He mentioned it. He just said, yeah, he just mentioned it.
Yeah.
He was just saying that it's difficult to get the nicotine.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Look, that can also be organized. That's not really an issue. You've still got a couple of distributors in California for nicotine.
Yeah.
That's not really the issue. Actually, let's do a show on DIY one day, all right? And let's really dive into it.
Yeah,
I would really like that. I would really like to have that and kind of help people figure out where to purchase stuff and the whole 9 yards, go through the whole thing. And I know there's a lot. I don't know if they're still out there. It's been a while since I dug into that, but I know there's a lot of websites that have recipes and everything that you would need.
Yeah, we're just waiting to find out where Jordan's from.
Yeah.
If you're in I'm in Modesto, Jordan. So let me know where you're at. This kind of makes me curious. I mean, is there really a study out there, and who did they ask this question to? I mean, did they ask this question to the person? Oh, Silicon Valley. So you're right, but you're not too far from me. Did they ask people that just started vaping this question? And that's what I want to know, because I know everyone in this panel wouldn't go back to smoking. Tim wouldn't, Paul wouldn't, Tom wouldn't, I wouldn't. So I'm kind of curious how they came to this conclusion.
I don't think that the gateway theory was necessarily tested with adults. I think it was mostly came out of youth, and it was predicated on a lot of mights, coulds, premise. Like they have no idea, although they'll probably find a small number where the suggestion is that these were kids that weren't inclined to smoke to begin with, but they tried vaping and then they fell into that trap, and then inherently they're going to get rid of vaping and ban it, so therefore they're more inclined to try smoking as a next level thing. I honestly, I find it very difficult to see anybody who's never smoked start vaping with flavors and then just fall in love with the taste of a cigarette. I just can't see that even being a relative possibility. It's just...
Go ahead, Paul.
But this is my argument. Now they're trying to limit like everything to tobacco flavors. Bullshit. Forget it. Why? Okay. My argument on this, and I've spoken about this time and time again over the years. We all vape flavors. We're not kids anymore. I would rather vape a strawberry custard or a banana bread than pick up a cigarette. Even when I walk past people that smoke, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't say anything to them, but if I've got like not a disposable, but like a pod style system with me, sometimes I'll actually give it to them and just go, look, try this, man.
Yeah.
This will help you out. But again, we're not really allowed to do that here because of our restrictive laws. It's ridiculous.
That's like an $85,000 fine for you guys over there.
Oh, don't even go there.
They kick you off the island.
They kick you off.
The tribe has spoken.
They'll kick you out and send you to New Zealand. They'll send you to New Zealand.
Oh, not a problem. I'm going.
I'll just swim on over to New Zealand. They can vape there.
Oh, look, here's the really interesting part, though. A lot of the bigger manufacturers here in Australia or the distros actually set up office in New Zealand so they can actually import back into Australia to help. But now the prescription model screwed that up as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom. You were going to say something?
Go ahead, Tom.
I totally
You
forgot what
forgot.
I was going to say.
I was going to tell Luke, tell your shop to get in the Jam Monster banana. That's good.
Yeah, that's
it's a real natural kind of flavored banana. It's not really candied or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like a Runts banana.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the problem, because a lot of these shops now are kind of like in the loop where it's like, do I want to carry this? Do I want to be able to have this line in my shop now, because they have no more ands, ifs, and buts about it. I mean, is this going to be a seller? If it's not, I'm not going to buy it. But yeah, I could.
My local shop posted on Facebook, it was either today or yesterday, that they're looking for more disposables to get in because they can't get one of the rechargeable ones as much right now.
But is some of that tied to the fact that its technology is pretty constrained right now? I mean, I'm sure a lot of production is slowed down tremendously. Just
could be, and it could be, with the holidays and shipping and etc. too.
Where do these people get all these really cool names? Brandis, what a cool name! And then we had Noble. Like I'm gonna divorce my parents and go find some other parents to give me a cool name.
Change your name to something cool now, Tim.
I'm just saying. I'm like, I guess I grew up in a fucking really boring era. Tim. That's all I got.
We all have old school names on this panel. Think
That's
about
true,
it. John, Tim, Paul, Tom.
Because we're old school. And banana pudding from Plume Room is very good. I just had
we read like a 1965 baby book.
Yeah,
like
we're not
top
named
names
Alexis
for your kids
or Mercedes or Paris.
All biblical names.
We don't all have those cool names, man.
That's okay. I like my name.
Secondhand vapor is as deadly as cigarette smoke.
Yes,
Damn
absolutely.
straight. Give me more secondhand vapor, please.
Here you go, Tim.
There you go.
Appreciate you, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom, for that.
Thanks for your droplets, Tom.
for that
I got
sweet
you.
toxic vapor that you just.
Oh
sent
yeah,
to
look
me.
at that. We've got hold on. We gotta wait a minute. It's from Australia.
Yeah, it's a little extra travel time there. No. Well, first of all, I mean, you can do basic study. You can see some of the basic studies that were done on YouTube. You can see, what the cotton looks like after, all that tar and chemical concoction gets absorbed into the cotton, and then you can see what happens when it what the cotton absorbs, or literally almost doesn't absorb, based on the vaping ratio. But if you read some of the articles about vaping and people's the odds that someone's going to be exposed to secondhand vapor and it being that dangerous, well, it doesn't have the same sort of emissions that a cigarette has. Vapor also is typically much heavier than cigarette smoke, so it doesn't tend to linger in the air, giving someone in the particular area an opportunity to inhale most of that, and most of it will fall to the ground or in a very short distance after it's exhaled from the vapor. So no, it's more garbage that they just want to use to try to scare people.
What's up, Nick? Yes, and I put the article in there that was given to me by Paul there, the doctor. What's his name again? I forgot it. Why do I
Dr.
always
Fassler.
forget?
The Greek guy.
Fasselinas.
Dr. Fasselinas. And that I posted that in there. I'm going to put it in the Facebook chat as well because it doesn't go to both for some reason. But I will put that in there right now. So that's a great article to go read and to debunk this. And there was the California study. I couldn't find that one, Tim. Do you know
that was the one that basically they tested the air quality in a vape shop. Basically walked into a vape shop back in the heyday, and it looked like a 1920s accounting office. It might as well just all had the green brim hats and 10-key ticker tape calculators. But they did a basic air quality study in a vape shop, and everyone's been to a vape shop and how vapey those places look. And they found out that it was significantly cleaner, even with all the vapor in the room and everybody vaping all at the same time, than some other scenarios and situations.
And that survey was testing, or whatever you want to call it, was done on several shops. It wasn't just one shop that they tested in California. I think it was several shops that they did the testing on, and they got the same results from that the air was actually cleaner in the vape shop than it was outside. So
yeah, but that makes sense because a lot of the really good vape shops back in the day, they were running really good filtration systems as well. So they had to get rid of the different amounts of vapor. But also the other really interesting part about the original study that was done, and it was done by the CDC actually, and they said, well, how can this happen? And they went to not one, it was 6 different shops in California, and all of them actually came out cleaner than the outside air. And this is with anywhere between 3 milligram nicotine all the way through to 36 milligram nicotine that was actually being vaped within that room. Now, that is a huge cluster, yet there was no nicotine either in what they were finding in the air. The percentage, I think it was 0.5% of what was being consumed. It was nothing.
Well, because we consume all of it. It stays in our system. It doesn't come back
in
out.
our system. There's the article that I was reading that it said that 95% of it actually stays in our system. We don't exhale that much nicotine back out into the air.
Right.
No.
Now, on the flip side of that coin, though, I mean, with all due respect to the lives that are around us, I don't recommend you go blowing vapor into your pet's face, or if you're chilling with your baby, that you're just puffing on a big old DTL vape mod and and dropping a big cloud on top of your kid. So I mean, we're always mindful to say that there's a lot that we don't know about vaping and its long-term effects on down the road. We pad that with caution. So I would say don't that and your grandma. Don't go, hey grandma,
Hey, grandma.
blow a big old cloud in her face or anything like that.
That's more for your safety because your grandma will probably whoop your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general terms.
In general, yeah,
Secondhand vapor is not.
Yeah, yeah. I did a poll many years ago on the ZampleBox family page, and it was about vape etiquette, and I tell you that was probably one of the biggest fighting polls that I've ever put on there, because there are a group of us that, hey, like Tim's saying, you don't blow it in your grandma's face, but then you have that group that says, well, it's 99.9% safer than smoke, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, still, etiquette, vaping etiquette. You don't go to go to the theme park.
Don't be ignorant and don't be ignorant to the idea that some people are weary of what is really at stake there, and so you don't want to give vapors a negative image, that we're just friggin' agnostic, and it's like, you'll be fine. There's no.
Well, that was the big fight. That was the big fight on the page, and I understand both of them, but it's like I said. I mean, there are lots of us that were smokers, and I will raise my hand. Raise your hand. How many of you? We all smoked. How many of us smoked in our house?
For a while. And then I moved to
you?
California. I moved to California, and then you couldn't do that anymore. So
you smoked in your house, Paul?
Yeah.
Tom, you smoked?
I lived where the air hurts my face 6 months out of the year. Yes, I smoked in the house.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, for sure did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the fight. It came down to people fighting and arguing whether or not it was okay to vape in the car with the kids. That was the big one in the house, and what I said, I didn't smoke in my house. I didn't think it made my house pleasant for others to come into my house and smell cigarettes. So I never smoked in my house. I'd always go outside. And then I thought about it again, would I vape in my house if my kids were still around, knowing what I know about vaping? And I still think I wouldn't do that. I think I'd still go outside and vape than to vape in front of my kids. See, Paul, you're doing that, and that's what I tell you, that I almost had to take that poll down. It was so bad, because that's the fight we got. That's the number one hate it poll, and the other one is, should you plug your mod in with a USB cord? Charge your batteries.
And sometimes even the whole the argument around stealth vaping, like people are like, fuck them, I don't care, I do it on a plane. I just blow it into my sleeve or something like that. And I mean, I've stealth vaped myself. So, I mean, I'm not innocent in any way, shape, or form. But, I mean, they're just, you'll get people that are like, why are you going to do that anyway? I mean, are you so strung out that you can't finish your Walmart shopping trip without, and then just wait to hit your vape until you get outside?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Vape etiquette.
Right.
I'm never doing that poll ever again, or question that question again.
Well, there's common sense 101, actually. Bottom line.
Right.
I think it's a little bit different today than it was when I did that poll, probably back in 2017, 2018, where we really didn't have what we know today. And I probably would like to. I probably might do that one again. Ask it in the lounge and see what we come to. There's other reasons I don't vape in my house, because I have very expensive electronics in my house, and I know what this vapor does to electronics. Yeah, I mean, open up a PC that you've been vaping, Paul. That PC that you have in front of you. I don't know how long you've been vaping in front of it. But have you ever opened it up and looked at the board and some of the other components on there to see that gunk that's on there from your vapor?
The laptop that I work with, on a daily basis, gets cleaned out fortnightly. regardless.
That's good. Yeah. That's
well, it's got a server chip in it. It's got a Xeon, so in a laptop.
You
So,
non-Australians in the chat don't know nothing about fortnightly using that word on a regular. It's not the game. It's not the damn game.
Because that's about what, every 2 weeks?
every 14 days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even my server over here, same thing. I've got a server in my room as well, and
I cleaned mine out yesterday, and it wasn't that bad, amazingly.
I try not to blow directly into the device.
And I recommend, if you have a Nikon camera, do not vape around the Nikon camera because it will get damaged. But if you have a Canon camera, you're safe. Canon somehow diverts the vapor in other directions away from the unit.
Canon isn't waterproof, right?
Yeah, it's waterproof.
Nikon has an IPS rating. Yeah, vapor ruins. Yeah.
I don't think it'll go that far, Nick. But I'm just letting people know that you do need to be concerned with your electronics in your home that you vape in. And if you don't believe me, and if
I can attest to that with tube amplifiers. Yes, you don't vape around them. Period.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people that have some vape reviewers that put defibrillator. What are those things? I forget, the air thing that sucks the vapor out of the air.
Like a air purifier?
An air purifier, and you should see what those air purifiers look like after you're done, cleaning them. And that's that stuff that falls in. Well, shit, look at the glass in your fucking windshield, dude.
Well, that is an annoyance, and you do have to a dehumidifier. There you go.
A dehumidifier, that's what it is.
Yeah, we used to have those when we were kids. Like when we were on the verge of whooping cough, Mom would go get the dehumidifier and put it in the room.
I'm just giving you a heads up, Nick. If you have a receiver in your house that you just spent $2,500 on, it would be in your best interest not to vape around it.
Unless you know how to pull it apart and clean it properly.
I try not to blow like right at the laptop as much as I can. I try to blow to the side. But I don't see it affecting. I haven't really had any electronics failures to vaping. My windshield is a travesty.
It's a travesty. Nothing works on the windshield. What's the name? Had a product out there for a while, but that product disappeared. That they were selling to get that.
It is
film.
Much harder to get off the windows than
Windex doesn't quite work as well.
There was something out there. But
I forget who made it, but it came out with it, and it worked really, really good. It worked really good. So, are we all in agreement that secondhand vapor is not as deadly as cigarettes?
Hogwash.
White vinegar.
White vinegar. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of curious, Paul. Has this come up there in Australia? Have they been discussing secondhand vapor?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it is an issue there as well.
It's now being used as like a secondhand like additive from the government bodies, and we just laugh at it and go, "Really? You really want to bring this shit up? It doesn't work that way."
Has anyone tried to come up with studies, or you guys use the same studies from the California thing, or has anyone done any research?
No. There's a lot more. There's a lot more studies out there now regarding secondhand vapor. I've been involved with the e-cig summit over the last couple of nights out of the UK. Here we go. Yeah,
100% true.
Yeah.
It is 100.
No, lubrication. Believe it or not.
Lubrication.
Yeah.
Well, feature is the lubricant. Smart cookie.
I know, but
Tim wants to blow
fire.
Well, Tim's blowing his stuff all over the place, so that's for his Pornhub channel. We'll get to that later, but But yeah, not a problem. But no, it's a lubricant. In other words, that's what VG is. Bottom line.
I got shot with a bullet that smells like strawberries.
Yeah.
Vaping makes you shoot better.
Yeah, well, California and their Prop 65 law is just a fucking joke.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's true, Jordan.
Sorry. It's a joke. They'll find cancer in anything.
Anything. Pretty soon we won't be allowed to breathe. Pretty soon. They're going to say people's breath will cause cancer. Just simple breathing is going to cause cancer someday. It'll come to that.
No, but the studies, what they're trying to push here in Australia is completely different. They're saying now that vaping is exactly the same as smoking. And we're just looking at them going, wow, obviously you're not reading any of the studies, or can they actually read? And these are meant to be doctors. It's absolute joke. In New York for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
true. Only in LA and New York.
Yeah. Vaping in your car, here in Australia, if you have children under 16 in your car and you're found vaping and you have children under 16, they can fine you for it. Yeah. They've already brought that law in.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
Nick, just go to our YouTube, go to the ZampleBox YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. Nick, you got that link? You're on that channel. You can throw it in the chat, can you? Yeah. It's on Twitter too now, guy. I put it on mine. I was hoping to, maybe draw some more attention there and then kind of move it back over to our Twitter page.
We're a blockbuster on Twitter.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Everybody loves that word.
God,
There's a shit ton of it in there, man. It's like a cow's. We're inside our vape just shitting and creating formaldehyde.
Really?
Who wants to go first?
Paul, he's the chemist.
He's the chemist. I have the article too. I'll post it. Real quick, everybody, every one of the things that we talked about, I have posted a article. So if you want to go do some of your own research on it, that it's on there. And I think I have.
I'm opening a beer to answer this question because
hold my beer.
Yeah, well, hello, hold my beer, bitches.
Yeah.
Hey, be careful. That beer may contain some formaldehyde. He looked at the bottle.
It's going to give him cancer anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's going to give him cancer anyway.
The doctor Fazzini is that article
Farcelino.
Farcelino, does that work for this?
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the S on the end.
100%.
Okay, let me post that one. I will post a link to that article, and you guys can, if you wanted to do a little more digging.
He was the one that actually debunked formaldehyde within vaping. To get to that level, you would have to be ramping your coils up to hideous temperatures for a start. Second, to go with that same article that he wrote, he also debunked metals and the different levels of metals that you can actually pick up within vapor. They're negligible, right? Here we go. So now we got Nico over here. But what happened was when they started doing the studies in the US and their smoking machines, they used exactly the same smoking machines that they used for cigarettes to test the original vapor products, or generation 1 and 2. The first generation they did was with silica wick. The second one they did with cotton. The third one they did with variations of both. The fourth one they did, but guess what? They were ramping these coils up to hideous levels, 10-second rips, 250 degrees Celsius plus, which is around 400 Fahrenheit. And they were saying that we all vape at this level for this period of time. Complete and utter rubbish. you will change the chemistry of the liquid if you ramp it up to this level. Yeah, these are parts of the studies, and he did there.
Let me boot. Do I need to blow that up a little more?
Yeah, make it bigger.
That's what she said.
But you actually have a look. Where is it actually on the list? And this is exhale, like breath exhalation. Yeah. If you keep scrolling down in the tables, like of what's been actually put back into the atmosphere, and then you look at the testing, there is no mention whatsoever in that list of formaldehyde in any way, shape, or form. He debunked it out of the box. He said, no way. And then type 1 e-cigarettes, type 2, now there's generation 3, generation 4, and he's also done a newer study. And generation 5 being heat not burn. And also the levels aren't there as such. No. Nowhere near what they are in a cigarette.
Right.
Completely different.
Yeah, you guys can find that article. I put it in the chat, and I think I'm going to put it in the Facebook end as well here right now. You can find that article.
No, it's been completely debunked 5, 6, 7 times now. I will put a list into, or a link.
Yeah.
No, I'll put a link into a.
Is it a newer study?
Well, this is actually very interesting. These are the studies actually done by PMI of just about anything that we've been talking about, and it's been debunked, right? It's quite interesting because, yes, I do read a lot of like sciencey type things. It's my job.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on formaldehyde, Tim or Tom?
I just know basically the same stories that Paul told about how the studies were contrived, and the testing scenarios were not what an average or common vapor would even engage in or even want to be near.
I'm vaping at 175 watts all the time.
And do, if I remember correctly, weren't some of those tests around like the CE2 cartomizers and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. Like not the more modernized stuff that, you know, they're using like old antiquated, you know, stuff from China. And I think that's
one of the studies was actually using a Aspire CE4, one of the original ones.
Yeah, right, a CE4. There you go. Yeah.
And
like a little ego pen that's really not even designed to get that hot to begin with. I mean, you're pushing 3.5 watts through it or something like that. Some ridiculous low amount of power that the vapor is going to use, and then these guys are putting it up against a system that's overworking it to the point of almost failure, probably.
Yeah, okay. That poll that I did a while ago, and I asked people where they vaped, their wattage wise, and I think the number one was between 55 and 65 watts was the normal. From a good 85% of the people vape at that between those temperatures.
Right.
Rogue, no, it was actually a 1.8 ohm coil, 2 ohm coil,
at 100 watts.
100 plus. And you're going to start creating all kinds of hoo-ha gadgetry. And then, right, we outlawed pretty much nickel coils back, I don't know, 2015, 2016. And they were actually using a nickel coil from one of the manufacturers, and we're just going, wow, wow, wow. Then they started going through all the different metals. titanium, yes. Temperature control only.
Yeah.
Very low wattage. Stainless. 316, 317, 304, any surgical grade stainless. Using temp control. Completely different. 3 to 4 volts. Yeah, it depends what your coil is. You've got to do the math on that one. But they were creating their own chemical cocktails in the end of the day when they started ramping these up to hideous levels. But a silica wick being plugged in or screwed into like a transformer and letting it rip at 100 watts for 10 seconds per puff. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Burn hit time.
Book of World Records stuff right there.
Yeah. And that study, there it is. CE4 at 1.80. I remember. But that link that's in there is a direct link to PMI's real studies, real science, and millions upon millions of dollars have been put into these studies, and they're not bullshit studies. And they're being peer reviewed around the world now by people from different universities, and everything is coming back the same. Everything. And it's complete and utter bullshit that what these other certain type people are trying to bring out, or we call it glancing at a study. Yeah, complete bullshit.
Agreed.
You agree, Tom?
Tom nodded.
Tom nodded with
In his overly boisterous fashion, he nodded.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, he's got his trash can ready for the bullshit.
No problems
See?
with mine. This is the new one. This is the new one that they're throwing out there.
All you ladies, own up.
Yeah.
Own up.
Admit it, ladies.
Rat your boyfriends out. Rat your significant others out. We know your vaping significant others got ED now.
Nick, if you're still out there, are you?
He is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's got a problem. I said the naughty word.
Yeah. I know. Did they just run out of stuff, or because they did go full circle? They went back to popcorn.
Right. They tried. They tried to tie this one in because they did a study at some point in time and found that people who smoked had a higher possibility of suffering ED just being a smoker.
3%.
You got
right.
Out of 3% out of what was the overall study?
I don't remember the exact, but it was like 3% of it was 3%. I think we can pull it up real quick.
I think it was actually like 2.8, but I wrote it up.
It's real. It's real, but I don't know if it's affected from our vape. And Tim, focus back in your camera.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Mine would be through drinking, but no, not through vaping.
Oh, yeah. If you're drinking a fifth of Jack Daniels, there's probably a good chance that you're not going to get one. So
probably need to wipe my screen a little bit.
Morgan clarified that our boyfriend doesn't have any problems on the poll. He's good to go.
Yeah, but most of the studies were tied to people that had a higher percentage of having ED due to being smokers in their life, and then claiming that by transitioning to vaping that I think it was a 2.4 times possibility of having or suffering from ED if you're a vapor. But the misnomer in all of that, though, I think anyway, is that could all stem from the smoking anyway.
Yeah.
That it could be a pre-existing situation that was brought on by the decades of smoking that were prevalent in your life. The fact that you happen to be a vapor It's consequential.
I mean, we're not out there claiming that vaping's going to get you harder. I mean, we're not saying that, but it's like you're saying, it could be, that it's not just smoking. Stress is involved in that situation as well. Look at Paul's got something he wants to throw out there.
The light bulb went off.
But there was something funny that came out. I think it was like 18 months ago, 2 years ago, that some of these like pod manufacturers in China are actually adding Viagra and Cialis to the fucking liquids. And I thought, here we fucking go. Why the hell? Why? What? We all going to run around, looking like Happy Harry Hardon.
Yeah.
Oh, God, here we go. Oh, God.
No problem. I love it.
Well, here's what I think the ants are doing. They're just they're doing the shotgun technique. They're throwing so much shit out there. They want to see what's going to stick, no matter how stupid it may be. So next thing you know, it'll be, your left nut falls off or something.
Well, but it's the same old argument, Tom. They try to equate vaping to that and making it the equivalent of smoking combustible tobacco. Because it's regulated as a tobacco product, they see it as a tobacco product. But here's the crux. Here's the crux of the matter. All right. So let's talk about. So let's talk about the crux of the issue. So of course I'm pulling right from the good old Truth Initiative's website, which I'm sure they quoted this anyway. It just says smoking damages blood circulation in many ways, leading to a host of related health problems, including heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. You can also add erectile dysfunction to the list. An erection is only possible when blood vessels in the penis enlarge and fill with blood. Smoking disrupts blood vessels in that area of the body, meaning the action can't always happen. In fact, smoking can cause erectile dysfunction in men as young as 20. And so they took that, and then they said, well, vaping can create a times personality possibility of being able to cause that too. The nicotine, it's a war on nicotine.
Yeah.
There's there aren't all the other 7,000 other harmful pieces of shit that are in a cigarette in vaping. So they're just trying to conflate it and tie them together like everything else. Secondhand vapor, fucking popcorn lung, all that shit. That's all a derivative and equating vaping to being that of smoking.
Hey, Nick, that's like 95% of all vapors are at like 3 milligrams. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we should just push that out there. I think if we start saying that vaping will get you even harder and just fight back with that statement alone, I think it would help the cause.
Yeah, but they also claim that smoking can cause a decrease in your libido and could potentially be a source of infertility.
Yeah, that's the big.
But this is smoking, not vaping.
Yeah, not vaping. Yeah,
right.
Some of these answers are just getting out of control.
Well, and here comes Daniel at just the right time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Care to comment on your erectile dysfunction, Daniel?
Daniel, can you drive a 9-inch nail through a 2x4?
Yeah.
Oh God! Here we go. Talk to the nipples. I vote 3 milligrams.
Yeah, that's the next one. Somehow we're going to grow an extra appendage somewhere from vaping. It's coming. It's coming.
A second head.
Yeah.
A second wiener. Third titty. Whatever.
Good to know, Victor. Everyone. I think everyone should go to PAVE. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying you should do this, but I think everybody should go to PAVE's page and
no rapper. My vape in 9 inches.
And just write in the comments, my junk still works. I think that would be just hilarious. Just to go hit them up with that. Hey, my junk still works. Hashtag my junk still works. There you go. That's the hashtag that we all vapors should use that hashtag. That's Friday night.
No,
Friday
no,
night.
we're talking. This is a vaping show, Daniel, and we're talking about real shit that people like tied to vaping, and that's one of them.
Yeah, that's the newest.
That's the latest
new entry. Yeah, that's the latest entry to our. Eventually, they will just say, "If you vape, you'll die." That's the end.
Just fall
the end
over
game.
dead. Yeah.
You hit it, boom, you're dead. That's it.
Yet they can't find one death case anywhere related to nicotine vaping.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, Daniel, we said that there's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Yes, people did say that, Daniel. It's true. Google it. Google it. Your name is not specifically mentioned.
Here we go.
But we all know they were talking about you.
I can see the new I can see the new Viagra commercials with the guy just walking around with his vape.
Yeah, but you actually know that. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not going down that pathway.
No.
We're already down that road. So
I'm a vapor. I'm going to change my screen name to Wet Noodle.
Wet Noodle. Mine will be Limp Bizkit.
That's my new handle.
Hashtag Limp Bizkit.
Let's
bottom line is that Pfizer is actually working on a vapable version of Viagra. It's a powder form like an inhaler.
Yeah.
I know about that one.
For those moments when you need it now.
Hey kids, line up.
Yeah.
Line up, kids.
You do a line of Viagra.
Squat rocket pocket for me. Fucking hell. If it lasts 4 hours, call your doctor.
All right, let's skip over this one. We're done. We're done with nobody on this panel has a problem. Nobody in the chat has a problem. So we're gonna go to the one that kind of hurt us the biggest, and it ended up being the one that didn't involve us one bit, but it took the CDC and the FDA and everybody else a long time to finally admit to it. And we had that vaping e-liquid juice had nothing to do with it. Oh, not that one.
Yep.
That one.
Yeah.
Valley bullshit.
That started
that was the dagger though. That one really that really burned when that all went down, because if anyone who was sitting there on the fence needed a reason to go, aha, I told you vaping was bad. I'm your mom and I told you that vaping shit was bad. It was Valley. And people just, the knobs turned off. It was like they didn't care anymore to hear the truth when we were all telling them the truth all along, going, it's not what we're vaping. You're looking at people who have multiple years of vaping under their belt, and there's millions of us, and we're not falling over dead. You've got these isolated pockets of people that are obviously going through an epidemic of some kind. You know, it was like an outbreak in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, for me too. The people that I had on the fringe that were kind of swaying my way, after that took place, I couldn't get a word in edgewise with them at all.
Yeah.
It was just like they threw that right in my face, and we talked about it on the show, but. For me, the most upsetting part of it was that many lives could have been saved if the CDC and the FDA would have done their job properly and got that information out, that it wasn't e-liquid, that it was this product that was being bought black market, right? Correct, black market product. They could have got the word out to the street. They could have saved a lot of people's lives, and not just their lives, but people that have survived from this are screwed for the rest of their lives, guys. Yep. This is something that is, yes, they beat it and they survived, but their lungs are at, what they say, like 30% capacity.
Yeah, well, some people actually had to have lung transplants because of it.
Yeah, and that's the sad part of it.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate situation, and by using the word vaping, people only had one image in their head. I think the greater majority of people walking the globe that really had no dog in the fight when it comes to vaping at all had no idea that people were vaping THC or that you could even do that sort of thing. Anybody who has any familiarity with marijuana or had a regular thought in their head was like, people smoke it. It's like a cigarette. So you hear the word vaping, you immediately, your ire and your concern is it's the bearded, flat-billed cap guy standing against the wall with his strawberry donut. He's gonna die. He's gonna die because he's vaping.
Yeah. My boss at the time chewed my ass because I took a hit of my vape right in front of him, and he just laid into me. That shit's gonna kill you. It was right in the middle of all this Valley crap, and I'm like, didn't you just hear about the guy in Sheboygan, I think it was?
Yeah, Sheboygan, where
it started.
Yeah.
That died from it, and I'm like, he died from, and I laid it all out to him.
Right.
I stayed calm, I stayed mellow, and I could see that he was just like, oh, fuck, he actually knows what the hell he's talking about. And ever since then, he hasn't said nothing about me vaping.
But see, this is the thing. That's what upsets me. The whole deal is, they're always so concerned about the kids, and they had the information. They knew what was causing it, and if they were so concerned with the kids, and let's be honest, kids are vaping THC. There's no bullshit, and the only way they can get it is off the street because they don't have a medical card, they don't have the other card that they need, or they don't belong to some cannabis distributing site or shop, so they got to get it off the streets. And they knew this information, and yet they kept blaming e-liquid. I can't remember exactly how long it took from the moment that word came out to the moment that they finally stepped forward. The CDC eventually stepped forward and said, okay, this isn't e-liquid. This is THC coming from from some specific brand, or what was the name? Dank
vape, but that's not even, that's just
it's
packaging.
Not even a company. Yeah,
it's not a company, and it's just packaging.
Yeah. And no one, and let's be honest, how long do you think they knew that was it? Dank was there. They had to have known it. I get it. There was, remember, a lot of the kids were afraid. A lot of the people were afraid to let others know that they were using a THC product. So a lot of those individuals said, I was vaping. And
because all of the cases were self-reporting. So they were either too afraid to get in trouble themselves, too afraid to rat out the person that they bought it from, or too afraid to get everybody else in trouble, or suffer the shame of having to admit something like that in front of people that would have had no idea that they did that stuff in the first place. So you're right. There was a lot of misdirection, and they conflated it. And because they're like, well, I've been using it as Juul or whatever, and so they blamed it on something else that uses a verb to describe it. Yeah, and I made this relevancy before, and that that makes a lot of difference when you are out there speaking on it and talking about it. And I said, it's no different than walking around telling everybody, oh my God, all the diabetics are dying from injecting. And then people are like, but it's insulin. Well, they're injecting heroin, or you idiot. It's big difference, difference. So, but to the people, like I said, who are, didn't, once they heard that was their aha moment. That's what they were waiting to hear, something so so horrific that was the nail in the coffin for them in terms of their opinion about it. Now, where's the damage to the vaping community over someone's opinion being swapped out, and them thinking vaping is that dangerous? Well, first, it's a social stigma thing, but it could cause those people to vote in favor of someone who's anti that. and putting another politician in a seat who wants to get rid of it for ulterior motives or ulterior motives.
Go ahead, Paul. I saw you jump.
Look, I've just put another link in private chat. This actually
I'll put it up.
Came out from Leafy, right? One of the guys that was actually behind the whole problem, right? He was an actor that was part of Veronica Mars originally, okay? He went across, and the product actually came out of California, known as Honeycup. It was a vitamin E acetate because it has the same look as like extractions from the THC industry. And I don't have any problems with it. It wasn't created by drug dealers in the United States, Nick. It was stumbled upon because it looked and felt the same way. And if you ever mess around with cartridges and the way they work and mixology behind it, they were adding this in so it looked like a legitimate cartridge. And you're right, Tim, Dank was just a marketing company as such for the packaging. And it was an absolute joke. This guy made millions very quickly. And it came out of California.
Right.
No Prop 64 on this one.
Right.
Because Prop 65, I should say. Because A, they were using a chemical or an agent that was made specifically for the cosmetic industry, but it had the same characteristics as a higher grade VG as such.
Right.
So
And
it didn't.
Go ahead. I was going to say they were using it to cut the THC to stretch it further.
Correct.
That was really the crux of the issue and why they started to use it, because they could go ahead and take whatever consolidation of THC oil that they had, cut it with the vitamin E, and then make it go a lot further.
Correct.
Maybe not knowing the damage it could
cause. Okay. The chemistry behind it is that, yes, it will work in a vaporizer. No two ways, right? Low wattage, what it does, it then actually, what actually happens is it vaporizes and then it congeals back into its original format in the lungs. So it comes back in the lungs looking like it's been painted with oils and crap like this. Pardon me. But there was also a couple of liquid manufacturers that are no longer around out of California as well that were trying to do a balancing act between THC, nicotine, and the vitamin E acetate as well. So you were getting both sides of it. And then the third component that they were adding was caffeine. It was quite strange what was going on. Yeah. And when I got my hands on a couple of the cartridges, I had them sent over to me and I had them tested and I went, are you serious? I wouldn't even screw that onto a device. There's no way in the world. It was spiking for everything across the framework. I went, wow. And these guys are ingesting this shit?
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me the most with that whole situation was the fact that no one took light of the fact that it was just here. If it wasn't e-liquid itself that we were vaping, which is, let's be honest, some of it's worldwide. People buy e-liquid that comes from the United States all over the world, and not one single person was infected by this anywhere else in the world but here.
No, wrong.
Well, eventually it got that way, but
there was cases here in Australia, and there was a case recently that came to the news in the last 6 months here in Australia.
I remember this.
But that was your doing. That was doing, not yours, but you're somebody. Yeah.
Come on, Paul, admit it.
No, but no, Nick's 100% right. blame the delivery system
Delivery
and not
system.
the manufacturing process.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
But they've gone back and they retested all the blood work of the girl that showed up with this. She was going to become the poster girl for the equivalent of PAVE here in Australia. And we pulled it apart. We went into and we got parts of the medical files and we went, hang on, there's THC here, there's benzodiazepines, there's all these others. So your little 16-year-old kid isn't playing along the rule.
Right.
She's doing this, 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 and this. And we pulled her apart and everything's disappeared now. We pulled her apart on Twitter and the whole news story.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing that happened here with that first girl that got on. She's sitting in the hospital bed. Who knows who got her to hold that sign up, you know? And I'm sure somebody from one of the ain'ts got over there as quickly as they could to hand her this sign to hold up. And I understand that, you know, your medical records are locked and sealed, and you know, no, they don't have to. Well, here. The doctor didn't have to say, oh, well, hell, we found shit ton of THC in her system. They couldn't say that. So and I'm sure she was scared to admit that she was she was doing THC. She probably didn't want that to get out there. And that's how she got sick. And she bought it off the street and all that other nonsense. But, you know, for her, they used her for a poster child for like the first week of her sitting in that hospital bed, all hooked up with tubes and holding her sign. And I got sick. I forgot what her sign said. I got sick from vaping some flavored e-juice. I'm like, yeah. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute here. You know, there's no way. I mean, the amount of e-liquid that's out there that we all vape every day and no one has gotten sick from this. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this stretch of what was it like before it came out, before it was decided, it was a good 4 or 5 month stretch.
Okay, Leafy actually broke the story 6 months before the CDC actually wanted to take part in it, right? And my friends that work in the cannabis industry also said the same thing. How are we going to get in front of this?
Yeah.
And well, that's another very good question, Rob. Who paid her hospital expenses and whether or not it was an actual set-up shoot? That was the question that we had at the time. And as for your laws, you can subpoena medical records.
Right.
And the CDC came out and said in a public statement that we're not allowed to test for THC or other products. And I said, bullshit. If you're saying that this is an epidemic, you need to test.
Right.
You
and
need
she was
to do
an adult,
lung,
correct?
No, yeah, correct. But you need to do lung scrapings. You need to do swabbing, all of it. I remember when Nick actually interviewed the guy on Facebook. That should be something that's brought back. And he actually came clean and said, yeah, they were, they were street carts. They weren't manufactured in a proper lab.
Well, we all knew that as soon as we saw the name. When we saw the name, everybody's like, who the fuck is Dank?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are going to jump into some advocacy news with Mr. Tim Swift there. I'm going to get Timmy's bumper. Timmy's bumper upper. Here it goes.
Hit the lights, everybody. Hit the lights. If you're an old school Metallica fan, you know what I'd be talking about right now. Let's tap some damn papers because it's Wednesday, y'all. That's a Georgia word right there, y'all. That's a word straight. Good, we got rid of the Christmas lights. I was tired of I felt like I was dodging the light the whole freaking time. Don't bring them back. Don't bring him back. Bring the StreamYard duck. The StreamYard duck's cool. All right. So the traditional 2 articles and an advocacy. That seems to be my forte. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff. We're gonna talk about Juul. We're gonna talk about Juul and lawsuits, and we're gonna talk about a radio show that's getting ready to crop up. That I think actually sounds quite interesting. I'd like to tune in and hear more about what's going to go on with this, because it's about helping people to quit smoking. And the old THR vibe. So tapping away. I'll tap again just because I haven't tapped in a whole entire week. So we'll tap a little bit more. All right. So first, let me share an article or two because visuals are always helpful.
Pop-ups.
So let me share my screen. All right. Share. There's no audio available. All right. So we're going to talk about Arizona and the Attorney General's office reaching a blistering $14.5 million lawsuit settlement with Juul. I know to the average Joe, $14.5 million sounds like a fuck ton of money. Yeah, but to Juul, it's a pretty much drop in a bucket, right? We're not talking billions of dollars, multi-millions worth of dollars. But bear in mind that what you're seeing, and you're going to see a lot of these stories crop up. Juul is going to get hacked to death by a bunch of different governmental bodies, states, municipalities, on all different levels. You're going to see a ton of these lawsuits go through. Now, not to worry, Juul's got money, so they'll be able to pay these massive settlement fines. But this happened pretty recently, kind of towards the end of the month. But it's the second case that was settled over Juul and their blatant marketing tactics and attracting youth to this deadly secondhand smoking, popcorn lunged cavalcade that we all engage in on this show. So the Arizona Attorney General, I can't even read anymore. I'm literally going to throw in the towel. I'd like to buy a new reading mouth, please. For all I want for Christmas is a new reading.
You can borrow mine, Tim. I don't know.
Well, look, at this point, we're both mispronouncing a ton of words, so I don't think anyone's going to even notice the difference, to be quite honest with you. The Arizona Attorney General's office has reached a $14.5 million lawsuit settlement with Juul. God, that was tough to get out. The Attorney General, this thing scrolls on its own, so yeah, my house, I think, is haunted. The Attorney General Mark Brnovich, how do you get BRN? Like, there's no Alex, or what's his name? Pat, I'd like to buy a vowel, please. Brnovich said in a statement, right? He did say in a statement, today's settlement holds Juul accountable for its irresponsible marketing efforts that pushed Arizona minors toward nicotine and the addiction that follows. Damn you, Juul. Damn you, Juul, for being so callous and uncaring. And now, so here's what the $14.5 million is going to go towards. Because I know you all are waiting with bated breath. What will Arizona do with $14.5 million? That's a lot of money. Don't spend it all in one place. And they're not, folks. They're not. They're not going to spend it all in one place. However, $12 million of that money is going to go towards funding programs designed to stop youth vaping, such as e-cigarette education, cessation programs, and prevention programs. All right, so I heard a lot of people cough bullshit. That's fine, because I smelt it myself, right? Whoever smelt it dealt it. Is that how that works? But that said, what that really means, let's read those three higher level things, such as e-cigarette education, cessation programs, and prevention programs. What it's going to go towards is more state-sanctioned propaganda and memes that are going to fly out all over social media and in marketing ads and stuff, basically telling everybody that vaping's got formaldehyde in it and that you're going to get popcorn lung, and it's going to rot your brain and snakes are going to crawl through your cheeks, and we're going to put it on a commercial. Yeah, you're going to lose your boner. Whatever. So that's exactly. It's not going to be some duly calculated program that these kids can go and counseling and things of that nature to try to help them through these impressionable years that they're going through, and trying to understand that don't do that, because number one, it's illegal. You're breaking the law, kid. You're not supposed to be touching that shit anyway. There's laws that are in place to prevent you from doing it, but I get it. You're a kid. You're going to experiment. You're going to do those kinds of things. All right, so 12 million of it is going to go towards more Twitter wars. Okay, that's what it's going to go towards. The other 2 million is going to go to pay for the lawsuit, to pay attorneys, and he is an attorney.
See,
it's probably going to go to his salary.
Yeah. See, kids, this is why you go to school to be a lawyer.
Right.
This is why you go to school to be a lawyer.
Exactly. So you can rake in a cool 2 million because why not, right? It just says the other 2 million will reimburse the state for litigation costs, and that means that some boys are going to get paid. Somebody's going to get paid. So in the settlement, and there was a litany of things that Juul is committed to no longer doing. Here, let's just read the laundry list. So out of the settlement, $14.5 million and a slap on the hand. Juul committed to stopping all marketing to those under the age of 21 in Arizona. They are prohibited from marketing through cartoons or near schools, advertising through social media, sponsoring events for those under 21, displaying products in unsecured areas, selling products to those under 21, or selling flavored products without U.S. Food and Drug Administration approval. They are required to disclose the nicotine content of all Juul products. Because you know what? I'm like you guys. I was befuddled to Juul products. I had no idea they even had nicotine in them. Had no idea. Just completely clueless. And then, oh my God, they have nicotine in them? Amazing. Who'd have thunk it?
I was just there, Tim. I was just there for the mango.
Exactly. I just thought it was this totally innocent little chiclet-sized thing full of cotton candy. It was totally safe. That's what I thought about Juul. And I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that they lied to all of us.
I thought it was a pen. I thought it was a pen at first.
Right. So I don't know if anybody knows anything about Juul and the PMTA process. I think this statement probably pretty much kind of explains that, the whole PMTA thing. But this is Juul sucking up, right? Everybody listen to this. Juul stated, "The settlement is another step in our ongoing effort to reset our company, and we applaud the Attorney General's plan to..." Yeah,
I'll get you an applause.
Get the clap for me there, buddy. Need me a clap. We applaud the Attorney General's plan to deploy resources to address underage use. Think about that for a moment. Just absorb the fact that Juul is basically licking the boot of the Attorney General in Arizona. And why would Juul lick the boot and be happy to pay out $14.5 million? Think about it. Think about it. We'll talk about it at the end of the story. Arizona is the second state to reach an agreement with Juul over its marketing practices. I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and I thought the screen was going to fly right out of my monitor. With Juul over its marketing practices to youths. North Carolina was the first one. And shocker, there's over 2,000 other similar lawsuits, including state and local governments, that are getting ready to get handed down to Juul. So Juul's basically just going to jump around to courtroom to courtroom to courtroom to courtroom, and they're going to pay out their measly little 14 million, their 20 million, their 30 million. They're just going to pay it. They're just going to. We love you, attorney generals. We're so happy you're calling us out and saving the kids. And here's 20 million. Go ahead and start some more propaganda. We'll stop selling our stuff to kids. We'll keep you happy. The case was originally filed in January of 2020, and the Arizona AG stated this was their mission. Combating the youth vaping epidemic remains a priority for our office with both our undercover Counter-Strike program. Counter-Strike? Who wants to be the terrorists? Who wants to be the other guys? Who here, show of hands, played Counter-Strike on online gaming? Great game. I liked when it was the old Counter-Strike and the old Team Fortress Classic. Anyway, but they have a Counter-Strike program and a zero tolerance for vaping companies that mislead or deceive. So that's the attorney. All right, so I asked you guys to think about why Juul would kiss the butt of the Attorney General of Arizona and gladly pay $14.5 million. Well, $14.5 million is a pretty light penalty to pay. I mean, for them, that's like a parking ticket, okay? That's basically a parking ticket for them. But why else would they be glad to do that? Well, because their shit is still under PMTA review, and they're one of the companies that's still in the ring, got their hat in the ring to get their product approved and over the finish line and back out onto the shelves. So they're going to do whatever they got to do to kiss the buttocks of anybody who wants to sue the living shit out of them right now. Yeah. Because that way it keeps the FDA happy and it keeps their product for that much closer to getting approved and over the finish line. Should we laud that? Should we be happy that that's what they're doing? I don't know. There's a tiny little bit of
sliver.
Me. There's a sliver of me that is like, you know what? I hope Juul does get over the finish line a little, just because it will benefit the rest of us, right? It may not be the end-all, be-all savior that we're really wanting there, because trust me, there's going to be a lot of people that are sitting there watching this process with bated breath, and they're going to lose their ever-loving minds if Juul gets over the finish line. You saw how bad it was when what's their nuts got over the finish line. What was it?
Etnos.
The Cigalike that made it over. They're not fully approved.
Oh, Puff Bar.
No, not Puff Bar. And was it Enjoy? With the old tobacco 9-year-old product, the Cigalike that got that has
Views.
The views thingamajigger.
No, but that's been accepted now.
Okay, but my point is that these things making it over the finish line to some degree help to set the precedent for the rest of the industry, right? Mm-hmm. So it does give us some sort of a metric that we can play by, because we know what it'll take other than money to potentially get cleared and through the PMTA process.
Right. I wanted to go back to
there's a tiny little Juul. Go ahead and kiss a little butt right now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mowgli. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Apathy. Thank you, everyone, for a call.
He can't hear me. All right. No, I wanted to go back to what he said. And this was an issue with Juul. If you remember in the beginning, a lot of people didn't understand what 5% of synthetic nicotine was, because that was an issue in the beginning. Because I don't think a lot of it. Go ahead, Paul. But you know where I'm going with this, right, Paul? This was an issue in the beginning.
Right, but it's not synthetic nicotine. That's benzoic acid. It's a salt base, right?
Yeah, salt. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But Views actually is a synthetic.
Yeah.
Bada bean.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an issue, though. I remember a lot of people going, "Well, it's only 5%. I'm at 3%," and I had to explain to them, "There's a difference there, people." Yeah, it's
50
50.
meg.
Yeah. So there was an issue there in the beginning with Juul. And I noticed I kind of played into it myself when I used it the first time because after about the third puff, I was like, oh, hello, something's different here. And it felt like I'll be honest, that was the first time I felt like I just had a cigarette for the first time. You remember that feeling? And yeah. So yeah, that was an issue in the beginning. Go ahead, Tim. Sorry.
No, I'm not. It's fine. I encourage the conversation around the articles.
Yeah.
But again, that was my takeaway is that Juul's just gonna collapse and just pay all these lawsuits. They're not gonna argue them. They're basically just gonna agree and say they did wrong. They did bad. Here's some money. Shut up and go back to your own state. But that's how it's going to go down because really they just want to survive. They want to survive and they have the ability to survive with the payout. They can go ahead and just pay it out and be done with them and wash their hands and say, we're not going to do this stuff anymore. And then they're going to be one that's going to clear the PMTA process. And, they're going to look like the
champion.
The wolf in sheep's clothing. Is how I would like to equate that. Anyhow, so there's that, right? So you're going to see another 2,000 of these cases come along. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. All right, the second one seems a little interesting to me, or I wouldn't say a little, but I don't know if you're interested in chasing down information. There's a new radio show. They're claiming that it's going to be one of the more groundbreaking radio shows to come out in the recent past. So IntelliQuit, a leader in tobacco treatment and services, is launching a revolutionary radio show called Smoke Signals, and it's going to debut in 3 days, December 11th this year. It'll be hosted by a gentleman by the name of Matthew Bars, who is a tobacco treatment specialist and director of tobacco treatment for the New York City Fire Department. I don't know what made him the foremost expert on tobacco harm reduction, but apparently he's up there. He's
got a link to that.
An
Tim?
important bloke, sir.
You throw it to me in private chat, and I'll put it in the.
I shall.
Thank you.
Bear with me. I'm a blonde trying to multitask right now. Doesn't really work too well. However, let's keep moving on with this radio show. So what he's going to do is he's going to take calls from smokers and other tobacco users interested in becoming tobacco free. The show will also feature important tobacco news of the day, coping skills, stop secrets, and hacks. I didn't know there were hacks for quitting smoking. Apparently there are hacks, useful hacks for quitting smoking. Vaping. There's a useful hack for you right there. Yeah, you want to quit smoking? You want a useful quit smoking hack? It's right there. Yeah. Right friggin' there. As well as interviews with other experts, which I'm sure we'll probably see some familiar faces on there, medical professionals and researchers in the field of nicotine addiction and helping people quit. Well, all right, fine. It is an addiction. Their hallmark will be their hallmark of the show, the golden child of the show will be the call-in segments with real smokers and other tobacco consumers over 18 from anywhere in the U.S. So while the guy's based in New York City, he's going to field telephone calls from all over the nation.
Nice guy.
And he's there to provide some advice and helping people to find ways to quit. And so he's basically joining our fight too, because he's not going to suggest vaping as an alternative. Right. But it's going to be a hard one because they're going to have to contend with people that are calling in from areas that want to continue to try to find ways to quit smoking, and vaping would be a wonderful option for them. But they might be living in a state like California, where there's bans and stuff. Our boy Jordan was in the chat, just saying. He raised his concerns. I got to go back to the comments.
Hey Tim, that's an actual real radio station, WNYM, right?
We'll talk about that. No, this will be an actual radio station, a real live, real McCoy radio station, not a internet. I'm sure you can stream it. I'm sure you can stream it, but
I'm
it's
just
a real
blown
real
away
radio
by
station.
that some radio station is taking that much time to do a show.
Here we go. Right, so the show's going to air on a New York radio station on your AM dial, AM 970. That is your radio station, AM 970. So tune in the car, folks, on your way to work. You know, Bars is also the co-developer. This was interesting too. I didn't know anything about this guy. Maybe we can get this guy on the show. I don't know.
Yes, I will try.
Bars is also the co-developer and founder of what's called My Nicotine Test, which uses smartphone technology to precisely measure a tobacco user's nicotine level.
Ooh.
Everybody want to try it out? I want to know my nicotine level. The science-based.
That's not an Apple device. No, because Apple doesn't allow that.
No, but there's a website that we can go to, and I will talk about that website.
Good.
The science-based approach empowers healthcare professionals and tobacco users to measure, control, and quit. So more info, if you want more information on this particular test that you can take, seems harmless and it doesn't hurt, you can go to mynicotinetest.com. mynicotinetest.com. Right.
Pretty easy to remember.
Right. So if you want to go ahead on you know what? Hey, this is a live show. We got a few more minutes.
Do your test. Do your test, Tim. Do a live test.
We're going to go. I don't want to lose the article, so we're going to go over to
let's fuck shit up.
Go team.
Yeah, do it live. Let's see what your nicotine level is, Tim.
Over 9,000.
9,000.
All right. It's an artificially intelligent powered cloud-based nicotine testing. I hope I don't have to create an account in real time. But there is an app. There is an app.
Here we go.
So there's nothing online that we can do.
You can get a gift
There's
products.
nothing online that we can actually do.
Hang on a second. All products. Remote smoking monitor platform to improve your quitting efforts. $120. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, this is a ruse. This guy's just trying to take us for our money. Man, I gotta save that $60 for my that 130 ml bottle of e-liquid that I'm gonna be tax the living fuck out of.
Shit. No, go to my nicotine. Go back to that thing, that test.
Here? This.
Yeah, my nicotine. Yeah, a single.
This.
No, yeah, that one. I want to have a look at that.
All right, you want to look at this one. This is the triple play. It means you get probably 3 as opposed to.
Oh my god. Antigens. What? Is this an FDA?
Can you make that bigger, Tim?
You need it bigger.
Yes.
Oh my god. It's an antigen
on sale.
test. Yeah, it's an antigen test. What else does this shit pick up?
It's when the feds show up at your door, Paul.
It's gonna let you know if you're gonna get a boner tonight too.
So you have to buy this damn thing, and then you use an app to help generate the results and tell you what your nicotine level is. All right. So anyway,
fuck?
Kids, save your money. Embrace the nicotine. Embrace the nicotine.
Go to www.wednesdaynightlive.com and we'll tell you what your nicotine level is for $29.95.
I apologize for wasting everyone's time.
Oh no, I want to go to the fourth one across now. Smoke. Yeah, this one's going to be better. Real-time remote smoking monitor. Oh, show me what $120 buys me.
It's a remote. It's a monitor. So you get a Swatch watch that monitors your nicotine level?
Oh, fuck off.
Wow.
That.
All right. Well, you know what? This
there's
is
a sucker
clearly
born every day, guys. This
guy is clearly a innovator and capitalist. So we're gonna let him ride because I'm not giving him my money.
What's on his t-shirt? because I'm going to meme the fuck out of this.
I'm gonna just straightforward.
And he's trying to use sex. He's trying to use sex to sell his
See what the
product.
back of that shirt looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Oh,
he's not wrong. There are cooler ways to die.
Oh,
Wow.
So what's he implying, that we're gonna die from nicotine consumption?
Oh man,
Because there are cooler. Yeah, like jumping out of a perfectly fucking good airplane, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. So anyway,
Motley Crue told us that skydive naked from an airplane. Yeah,
no, that wasn't Motley Crue. That was Santa Cruz. That's Santa Cruz.
Yeah, and you're right, Daniel. You're right.
Oh no, you're right. You're talking about the lyric from Motley Crue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
The lyrics.
Motley Crue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was.
There are lots of
that
people
was,
out there
I
that
don't
are
think I
trying
want
to
him on the
profit
show.
from addictions, and that's a sad
No,
thing.
honestly, can we get him on the show and I'll just fucking sandbox this prick?
Oh, he won't. Now for sure he's not coming on.
All right. Well, you know what though, but being open minded, I think it's probably worth it for us to tune into the show coming up here on the 11th and just kind of try to figure out where this guy's going with all of this, right?
Yeah, I think.
I don't want to lambaste the guy without really understanding his angle on any of this, right? Because I'm guessing that this is aimed at smokers. It's aimed at smokers, right? It's not aimed at vapors, okay?
Right.
Because vapors, we're already vaping shit that's far less dense than a cigarette. So
Yeah, Josh and Ariane gift cards, everything. Yeah, we got this guy covered. But
all right, well
there was another one there that I wanted to touch on, but we won't go there.
Okay, so let's talk a little. Let's just finish the article off, and I'm going to go down here to the bottom real quick. AM 970, The Answer, I guess that's the name of the radio station. Listeners use tobacco 15% more than the average New York adult. Their listeners purchased a whopping 377% more quit smoking medications than the average New Yorker. All right, so it says here, interested tobacco users can text the word free to that number, 551-355-8328. Potential callers will be contacted after their text is received. Of course, callers can remain anonymous during their call-in segment. So if you want to get on the show, that's how you do it.
Yeah, they're going to screen everybody.
Paul is going to do that right now just to fuck with the guy.
Right.
Yeah, I put the link to the. I put the link in there, Tim.
All right. So it's interesting nonetheless. I would like to hear more about what the show. I would like to understand what their recommendations are for quitting. What will they recommend? Will they be like, let's just do straight counseling? Let's recommend NRT therapy, vaping. Vaping could work for you, but he's not going to help anybody in New York, right?
Right.
So he's only going to be able to help people in areas that can still legitimately vape, or cities that.
And if he's a true expert in his field, he will know what states allow vaping.
Right. So I think we should have this guy absolutely on our radar as someone to potentially maybe bring on the show after we understand a little bit more about him.
I'm going to listen to this first show.
So there's that, right? So if anyone's interested in that, AM 970 on your dot. It does not say, but you could probably go to their website.
Yeah, the website link is in the chat, guys.
AM 970, and try to find out when.
I think
apparently they have people on the show like Joe Piscopo and some other celebrity level people. So they have a big listenership. Apparently, there are a lot of people that tune into that radio show, so this guy's going to get a captive audience right out of the gate. So there's that. Let's finish on the advocacy element of it. I'm going to always say it every show until we know more about what's going to happen and go down. I encourage everyone to still take the angle and go after the senators that are potentially your representation and get them to vote down on the Build Back Better bill because of the tied-in nicotine tax bill, right? So if this Build Back Better bill gets partisan support, which we already know the Republicans won't support it, but there are some Democrats who are against this bill, specifically because of the nicotine tax. We already read some of the communications that are going on. So we know there's a few senators out there that oppose it. Can we get rid of that dude real quick? The show's about almost over.
I got him.
But get rid of that.
Tom, you got him. Tom, you're
get rid of that knucklehead. It's probably a bot anyway. It's probably not a real person. But at any rate, we'll get rid of that guy. Sorry, I apologize to everybody for having to deal with that. We do get one of those every now and again. So there's that. And then this really isn't advocacy so much, but I don't know if everybody heard, but Denver, Colorado passed a flavor ban. So this is what they basically knocked out. So in Denver, Colorado, it outlaws the sale of flavored tobacco, including menthol, beginning in July of 2023. So you got all of 2022 to buy it up and get whatever you want. But with the new Denver rule, they become the 7th Colorado municipality to enact a ban on flavored e-cigarettes. However, they did write some exemptions in, the same old exemptions everybody hears about. So the exemptions are in place for hookah products, including water pipes and shisha tobacco, natural cigars, pipe tobacco, and harm reduction tools, meaning gums, patches, that shit. At any rate, there's not much you can fight unless they dramatically turn this around, but not to fear. Most people are probably just going to head into Lakewood or Aurora to get whatever they want anyway. So this is just a city ban. It may affect people who can't travel, but that just happened. That shit just happened. But you got till January 2023. So Happy New Year 2022. Vape them if you got them. And that, my friends, is your news and advocacy for the week. Sending it back to the studio. John, take it away.
News update. My erection is still good. Go ahead, Tom.
His junk still works.
It looks like Smoke Signals, MyNicotineTest.com radio is a podcast.
Oh, okay.
And there are no
I was
clips
going
at
to
the
say,
moment.
I find it really hard that the radio station would dedicate an hour of actual advertisement time to deal with that type of issue. I can't. I don't see a radio station taking the risk of donating that much time to a broadcast.
But podcasts are broadcasts. I mean, effectively everything on a radio station that's talk radio is a podcast.
Right, so, but I don't think it's actually played on that channel. Because I looked, it doesn't show it at anywhere.
If it was, it would only really be the people in that New York area that would be able to listen to it.
But it's still a live show of some kind.
Yeah. It's a live show.
So you're saying it's purely online?
It's purely what online because they're not advertising that show whatsoever on their page. So I'm assuming it's a podcast type show with the AM 970 as the maybe main sponsor or something.
Probably where he's going to be doing his phone call setup.
Right. Because I see it nowhere on their page.
Neither did I. I was looking when we had that bot. So
yeah. So it's still. I am going to be listening. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of advice he gives people that are going to be calling in. So again, he's going to be call screening because obviously what Tim said, you're going to have to text him first. Your name and your information before they let you on. So I find it highly unlikely that he's going to let a vapor on there.
Never know.
I'd be surprised. I would be surprised if he lets a vapor on there.
No, fake it until you make it. We'll get in there. Trust me.
You just send him a bunch of bullshit. Then once you get on the air, you got a 10, 15-second delay. So we keep that in mind. So get it all out within the first 10 seconds.
Exactly.
I mean, I still would probably recommend that we just listen in just to hear what
I'm going to listen in. I'm going to listen in to see I'm kind of curious to see what his go-to advice is in the beginning, because I'm sure.
Oh, I can tell you.
Yeah,
go to my website, buy my product.
Yeah, his product, and I'm sure that's going to be the majority of it. I don't see. Like Tim says, he's not going to recommend vaping. I'm kind of curious. Other than his product, what is he going to recommend most users?
Right,
what
because
do you guys think?
People are going to be calling in going, I've been smoking for 25 years. What do you recommend would help me to quit? And granted, his product doesn't help people quit smoking.
Right.
His product only assesses the nicotine level in your system, you know, based on what you are smoking.
Your habits.
But this, I don't like this trend because he doesn't really, it doesn't really talk about or highlight the dangers of smoking, which is not nicotine. That the nicotine is the addictive component of the cigarette. It's not the harmful part of the cigarette that ends up killing you. So, you know, again, they're taking the angle that again, it's all about the nicotine, all about the nicotine, all about the nicotine's going to kill you. The nicotine's not going to kill you unless
you are anonymous.
vape and then get in your car and get in an accident.
Right.
Then was it the nicotine? I don't know.
Yeah. Luke's.
I don't
know. Tim said you are anonymous, so they just want your information before they put you on their podcast. So that's it, boys. You got anything else you guys want to throw out there?
Yeah, one thing. One thing.
Gotta...
The book by Dollar. Yeah.
Who's
Start Vaping.
Do you have
Dr.
a link
Colin,
or anything for anybody to pick
Dr.
up?
Colin Mendelsohn. I've just put the link in the chat for you guys.
Did you put it in private?
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
Written
by one in the private chat for us.
Right there.
Oh, okay. I see it. Sorry.
Written by a very good friend of mine, Dr. Colin Mendelsohn here in Australia. Stop smoking, start vaping. And it goes through absolutely everything. The myths, battery safety, technology, controversy and solutions, everything. Absolutely everything. Brilliant book. It was sent to me. Thank you, Colin. I appreciate it.
You think we could get him on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we can get the good doctor on.
I would love to have him on.
But it's the first book in a long time. It actually has pictures as well.
No pop-ups though, right?
Oh God, here we go. Pop-ups. No, the book doesn't come with a box of Viagra. Right?
No, not that type. I'm not talking about that pop-up.
Well, I mean, you know, could get ED, so might need it.
But he has a whole 3 pages on popcorn one and how the misconceptions and vaping harmful to bystanders. No. He puts it all out there. And trust me, this is, if you ever want to go to war with someone, do it.
Hit him with that book.
Oh, well, don't hit them with it, but
don't hit them with it.
It's absolutely brilliant. Goes through different devices, everything. It is so fucking cool. Thank you, Colin, for doing this. I appreciate your time and effort. And there's case studies as well throughout the book of different vapors that he's actually helped quit. Daniel, yeah. Founding chairman of Athro. Yeah, correct. He also works with
I'll scroll down to about him. Okay.
Dr. Alex Wodak.
Expert on smoking and vaping.
But he is a real GP. He is a real doctor. International, you know, he sat on one of the boards the other night and it was mind-blowing to hear what he had to say being interviewed. And brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on the show. We'll have to
he's not a young buck. You know, honors as a GP and then went on for the past 30 years just for smoking cessation. That's what he does. And he's embraced vaping.
I like that. I mean, I don't think there's a book out there that kind of promotes this, that promotes vaping in this way. I mean, with studies and information that is, you know, useful and it's not been tainted by, you know, the ain'ts and government and stuff like that. So it'd be good to, I might buy it. I may just buy it right now. No, I won't do it right now while I'm online. You guys will see my information, but
Yeah. Give us your credit card. Give it to us now.
give it to us. Your black card.
You can buy the book while I'm doing my segment, John, if we still have
Oh,
time.
all right. Yeah. Got to go to Tom real quick. Tom, go. Oh, wait. No, I got to. It's been a while since I played the bumper. So there you go, Tim.
Do the
Tommy
bumper.
boy.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Alrighty then.
Okay.
He's back. He's back, people.
And I have
back.
10 things on my
He's
list.
angry. God.
More annoyed.
Yeah.
Annoyed.
All right. Number 1. When you have soap on your hands and the automated faucet refuses to turn back on. All soaped up, nowhere to go. Fucking annoying.
God.
Take that how you want. When you realize there's no toilet paper while you're using the bathroom.
Oh,
that sucks.
dagger.
Mhm.
Dagger.
When you're watching a TV show and one or more of the commercials are way louder than the actual program.
Jump scare for the evening.
Yes.
You're right, Tom.
I know.
What?
It's annoying
They
as hell.
spend billions of fucking dollars on TV stuff. You would think they would fucking adjust the audio to a fucking commercial. We're not talking about some little shack. We're talking about ABC, NBC. These fuckers got more money than God, but yet they got a commercial that it's like 50
God doesn't need your
decibels
money,
high.
John.
Yeah. They got a commercial that's 50 decibels higher than the actual show you were just watching.
And no amount of sound leveling equalization on your TV ever helps.
I'm
right.
looking apathy.
When the sticker on something you bought is impossible to remove, or it just pulls off just a little bit and you're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Always fun. When your shopping cart has that one rogue wheel, you know the one, it sticks or it wobbles or just fucks up. When the strings on your hoodie are uneven or one keeps slipping back inside. As you notice,
What the hell?
they're uneven. It's annoying as fuck.
Apathy,
the
that's
little
an
things.
affirmative.
All right, you're gonna really like this one, John. When you shake your ketchup to prevent the pre-cum from landing on your plate, but it still does.
What?
What? Wait. Whoa. Back
Okay.
up. Back it up.
Shake your ketchup, right? That way,
Yeah.
you know, when you go to use your ketchup, you don't have that little white pre-cum shit that comes before the ketchup. The watery stuff.
Oh, like in mustard too.
Yes,
Yeah.
it works for mustard. But when you shake it up, and it still comes out first.
It's still there.
Yep.
Horrible day. Just can never get it back. It's
It
over.
ruins a hot
Yeah.
dog.
You just
It
might as
ruins a
well
hot dog.
curl up in the fetal position and go to bed.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what that shit is. What is that? It's not
Yeah,
the same
it's-
color. It's not
No.
the same
I don't know.
texture.
Hence why it's ketchup pre-cum.
Call up your boy, Mr. Bars. I bet he's got a test for that.
We need a test. We need
Yes,
to test
Daniel,
what
we're
that
talking
stuff
about
is.
ketchup.
Know your pre-cum levels.
Okay. Number 8. Trying to find the part of the sticky tape roll where you left it last.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mhm.
I have a systems, but
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. When you open a packet the way it was meant to be opened and it still doesn't open.
Like Splenda. I hate that. Like you rip it open and then you go to put the Splenda in your coffee and then nothing comes out and you're like,
Yeah.
I had like 1 millimeter left before the Splenda comes out of the packet.
Yes. And to
Fucking
answer the
bullshit.
question
It's
from-
total bullshit.
To answer the question from earlier in the show about how my week went, it snowed here on Monday. Use my snowblower. Number 10. When your snowblower breaks during the first use of the season and the part needed is out of stock and the company has no idea when it'll be restocked.
And you hate snow shovels.
I do.
what is
With a
snow?
passion.
What is
It's
snow?
white shit that fucking sucks.
We've coined a new hashtag, folks. Tom, you are the man of the hour.
I do what I can.
Hashtag
No, it's not a man.
No, pre-cum ketchup.
Sucks. for
Pre-cum
sex.
ketchup.
Hashtag that now. Oh, Tom, thank
Good
you.
stuff.
We needed
That is my 10.
We
Good
we
stuff.
needed a good laugh to end the show with.
I do what I can.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right, everybody. We want to thank everybody out there in chat for joining us every week. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
Y'all rock.
Listen, we don't ask for them because we don't y'all rock. We don't ask for them, but you know what? Give us that like. We don't feel like we should have to ask for a like. You know, it's there. If you want to do it, do it. And share this link. We like to get more people involved in our show and get our message out there. We are doing something special, great. I think there's not a lot of YouTube channels that are out there that are still doing what we do, and you know, they're the big boys that are still out there. I appreciate, you know, Grim Green and Matt. They still do it, but a lot of them have given up on advocacy, and for one reason or another, I have no idea. But we like to add a little comedy and some fun and to advocacy as well. So share the link to our show. We appreciate it, and we appreciate every single one of you guys. Appreciate Tom and Paul and my man Tim up there for showing up every week and doing what we do.
My forehead tonight. Thank you.
And his forehead. And no, Tim did not get a haircut.
No, it's
I saw it in the chat several times.
Here.
Still there.
Oh wow! I need to share something very quickly. Let's just come. Let's just
share it.
Come out.
Share it.
Share a screen.
Share screen. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Go.
This better be good.
It's the link to Paul's free Pornhub's channel.
No,
Cabbage Patch Kids are coming back.
No, it's not.
Okay. Share. There you go. I see you. Bam.
Wow.
We know that vaping is making a difference now for people.
Yeah, this is New Zealand though. They're behind it.
But this is the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
Oh, that's the Prime Minister saying that.
Yeah.
Well, mass exodus to New Zealand. Every Australian is going to vapes is moving to New Zealand.
Wow.
That is a big deal when it is the Prime Minister. That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Will the world listen, Paul? Will the world listen?
Well,
probably not.
All right, all you Aussies, get ready to be Kiwis.
Well, we're already Kiwis. That's the thing. We're allowed to fly backwards and forwards with no visas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll brush up on your haka and go over to New Zealand and vape.
Get on a boat, or swim. Just swim there. I'm sure
there's sharks in the water.
No, don't swim.
Wait a minute. I just had a fucking idea. Wouldn't that be cool if we just got a bunch of us together to go like into DC and protest, you know, in front of the White House, and then we have like the people from New Zealand and Australia like help us design this badass haka that we could like do it right on the front steps, so that, you know, that would be so awesome.
Look,
that would be fucking awesome.
The light on. You got the light on now, Paul.
Sadly,
Mowgli jumped out of his seat. Look. Mowgli jumped right out of his feet. He almost jumped right through the internet on that one.
Now I'll reach out to
movement.
No, you can't. The haka is a national dance.
Yeah,
what it is.
The national
but again,
dance.
You're talking about
in
DC. And they're a bunch of sensitive little bitches.
Oh,
what? Oh, bullshit.
Circle jerk in front of the FDA. All right, that's my idea. That's my idea, and I'm sticking to it. I'll do it. I'll fucking
all the men go to the FDA building with a heart on.
No.
I didn't.
Glantz sent us.
He would bend over and drop something.
Professor Glantz sent us.
Yeah. All right, before this show gets really ugly.
All right, let's get the hell out of here, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll be here
everybody
Thursday,
next
right, John?
Thursday next week, maybe.
Yeah, let me confirm that first.
Okay.
Let me confirm it. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. We'll have a special guest next. We may do the show on Thursday to accommodate our next guest, but I want to get confirmation on that for sure, and I'll let you guys know if that's going to happen. All right, guys, we are out of here. We'll see everybody next time. Same channel, same place, same four guys, and let me figure out which is the bumper. There it is.
Out.